What is up, everyone? If this is your first time stepping into my channel, my name is David and I love talking about photography, film photography in particular. Today I wanted to share with you some beginner SLRs that you might be interested in picking up, whether you're advanced or just getting into film photography, or if you shoot digital and you decide that you want to try film. So without further ado, if you're interested, make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, as well as the notification bell. It'll help out the channel a lot. Let's go. So the first camera I wanted to share is the Canon AE-1. This is my friend Dylan's Canon AE-1. This camera goes around $130 with lens, and this was manufactured by Canon from 1976 to 1984. This camera can go from a shutter speed of 2 seconds to 1,000th of a second with bulb mode as well, so you can do long exposures with this. You can do any portraiture, or it's a well-rounded SLR. You can get the Canon AE-1s in a chrome finish like this, or you can get it all black, which is a little bit more rare. This was also one of the cameras that put Canon in the forefront of the camera industry back in the days. It was one of Canon's first most successful camera that they had released. One of the key advantages of the Canon AE-1 is that they manufactured a lot of this. So if you're looking for a glass or a new body, it's readily available and you can get them for a pretty good price. The second camera I want to talk about is my personal camera, what I started with years ago. I have the Minolta X-700. This camera was made in 1981. You can get these cameras for around $130 with lens, and this was the final top model manual SLR that Minolta released before they got into the autofocus Maxim series. It was one of the cameras that was hailed as one of the best SLRs because this camera not only packs a really well-designed manual mode, it also has aperture priority and program mode, which basically lets you have more freedom with actually taking the photo when you're starting with film photography. With aperture priority, you set the aperture and the camera will figure out the shutter speed. And with program mode, it's basically point and shoot. You can just shoot it and get good results. As this camera was being produced, there were a lot of changes that were being made to the camera. Over the years, they decided to use cheaper materials. One of the issues that came with that was the shutter capacitor has been known to fail. It's an easy replacement, but that's a good thing to know. But these bodies are still readily available, so it's still a really good option, especially if you're starting out. This camera has shutter speeds from 1 second to 1,000th of a second, as well as bulb mode. So again, this one is really well rounded for all types of photography. They mostly come in a black finish or a less common chrome finish as well. Some other cameras that I have used in the past and I thought were really good beginner SLRs, the Minolta SRT-101, which goes for around $120. The SRT-101 is built like a tank. You could probably drop it and it'll still be fine. The SRT-101 is also a camera that is being used a lot throughout different schools for photography classes when they're first learning photography. So the SRT-101 is solid. It's a little bit on the heavier side though. The next camera is the Nikon FM. The Nikon FM is really good. With Nikon, the amazing thing is you can use their current lenses with their film cameras, and you can use their film camera lenses with the current cameras. That system is really well done with Nikon. The Nikon FE2 is a really good camera, albeit a little bit expensive. These go around for $260. If you're interested in it, it's a really good camera, but it's twice the price of the other cameras that I'm going to talk about. And then the last but not least is the Pentax K1000. Solid camera as well. Pretty much does what all of the other cameras that I've been talking about does as well. You can pick any of the cameras that I've mentioned and still learn a lot about film photography. But obviously I'm biased. I love that I started with the Minolta X-700. When I first got back into photography and got serious, I got into film photography. The reason why I chose this camera was I was not comfortable shooting full manual, and this camera had an aperture priority mode as well as a program mode, and I wanted to do street photography. So it really helped that I had aperture priority mode so I can think more about the photo and learn how to shoot manually in the process of doing that. For me, I'd recommend this, but I know a lot of people have done really well with the other cameras I've mentioned, so it's up to you. So my friend Eli, who owns the Canon AE-1, he goes by Eli Beaverson Visuals on Instagram as well as YouTube. I'll have the links in the description. We decided to shoot around Indianapolis area to see what we can get with these cameras and show you that these cameras, even though I said are beginner SLRs, truthfully, you can use them even if you're an advanced photographer. We just went out, took some photos, took some video as well, and wanted to share with you what we got. So make sure to comment down below your favorite shot, and without further ado, let's see what we got. That about wraps it up. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did creating it. Make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and smash that like button. Thank you so much. This is it from me. Without further ado, David out.